Alright guys, here we are. The day's finally come. The jerseys are finally here and I'm finally ready. I finally set all the things up. I think uh, it's a long process, man, but the boxes are here. You can see them all here. It's all packaged and ready. There's 300 of them here now. 3 boxes, 1 year in the making, lots of energy, lots of lessons, but we're finally here. So I'm going to leave the link in the description. I've made a website, and on the website you'll be able to order it and go from there. So if you want to have a Squad Everyday jersey like this, if you want to support the channel, the link's down below and we can get started. So I've had merchandise in the past, as you guys know, but all of that was automated by a third party. This is the first time I have held merchandise at home. This is the first time I'm going to send stuff from home. This is the first for many things. So it's exciting. They all turned out fantastic. I'm really happy with them. And the website is running. So if you want it, place the order and then just be patient with me. Until I work out what's going on. I've bought a label printer today. So I'm gonna hook that up to the computer. I've set up all these different systems, which it's all new to me. So I went with Shopify at the end. Initially I went with Amazon, but Amazon screwed me around. I asked for support. They didn't get back to me. It was just too many difficulties. I don't know whether it's because I'm in Australia or whatever. I don't know. Went to Shopify. Shopify was simple, easy. I'll say simple. It was without issues, but there was a lot of lessons for me to learn. Set up the website. I'm a complete amateur when it comes to website making. Obviously, I've never done anything like this before, but it's functioning, I think. So the details are going to be over there. You'll see the chart, the size chart. You can order it from there, and then literally when I get the order, then I come to this computer over here and I print out the label. I take it to the post office and I send it, and that's it. So let's see. I basically need to sell half of them to break even at this point. But apart from all of that stuff, I was prepared to lose money in all of this. I was always prepared. I wanted to take this on. I wanted to invest. I wanted to learn something new. And this is the thing about a lot of these things. People are scared to, risk, their own money, risk their own time, risk their own headaches and all of that. Because what if I don't get anything out of it? The way I think about it, kind of like Squad Every Day, kind of like anything that I ever do, is I don't do it for the monetary gain. That's never excited me in the past. What I do it for is the opportunity to learn something. And this whole process has taken me a year. Literally started off with a message to a designer on Fiverr, if you guys know the app. Downloaded the app, sent a guy a message, and I said to him, look, this is what I'm interested in. We started communicating, and a million freaking messages later, we come up with this. And then after that, how do you find a manufacturer? Message a million people, find the right one, get a sample, like it, adjust it, this, that, the other. Finally get something that I like, put some money down, and then go from there. So basically it's taken me a year, long time to get to this stage, but I'm very excited. Even if I don't sell one, I'll have 300 jerseys to wear for the next 20 years, probably even longer. I don't know how many years it will take you to wear 300 jerseys and give them all a good run. But anyway, I've got all these jerseys. If you want one, you can have one. If you want to support the channel, this is probably the best one, the best way to support the channel. I've said in the past, like that website that I went with, when I got to 10,000 subscribers, YouTube sends you a little thing saying, oh, you can start selling merchandise. So you click the link, blah, 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 50 clicks later, you can upload your logo, which is this thing for me over here. Upload the logo, and they literally have a million products. You can just click, 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 click. The logo goes on the product. You can adjust it slightly, and then the website goes live and people order it. Nothing to do with you. He goes to the third party and, to you. The disadvantage with that is that you have no control of the product at all. Like you can't control anything. You can just put the logo where you want it. And two, there is literally no monetary gain. So I said this in the past. $40 to $50 I was selling these jumpers. I still am selling the jumpers, and you get like $6, $7 back. So it's like completely, not even worth it. Number one, the product is not the greatest. You can't control it. You can't do anything with it. And number two, they use your name to make money off your name. So it was kind of like, why am I doing this? I don't know. Over time, I realized, I asked myself, well, how hard can it be, man, to actually do this yourself? Well, turns out it's quite a bit of a process, and it's taken me quite a while, but I'm happy. I'm happy I've run through the whole process from emailing that designer all the way to here, and now I'm here. And so the journey has been worth it. And going back to the point, if you want to support the channel, this is the best way to do it, because the money that I've invested up front is a lot. I think right now I'm up to like $7,000 with the printer included. $6,500, $7,000 all up Australian that I've invested before I even make a single dime. Which is probably another reason why people don't do this, because who's got $7,000 to blow? I didn't. But I decided I wanted to take this on as a project, and the wife approved it last year. She said, look, do it. Instead of buying things for the car, like I've always been a car guy, why don't you take that money and invest it into the right direction? I like the sound of that. There's lessons to be learned there. And here I am now. I'm $7,000 less, but there's potential that some of you guys are going to support me, and I might get all of that money back. I might not. It is what it is. This is one of the reasons everyone says that small businesses fail all the time, because, all right, no worries, you got the product, that's great, it looks fantastic, you're really happy with it, but no one's going to buy it. And then so then you end up, with these 3 freaking boxes. There's one there, one here, you can't see that one. 3 boxes that no one's going to buy. So that is the risk associated with business, but that's kind of the risk you have to put up with. If you don't risk anything, you're not going to get anything. And so I could have easily continued on with the other website. Mind you, the other website, like I said, there's no control of the product. So I wanted to make an NBA jersey, like my own Squad Every Day jersey on that website, but there's no options for customization. There's no options for anything. They literally have an inventory, and they have a big inventory. It's all kind of like plain t-shirts, jumpers, pants. Actually, they don't have pants or shorts. It's just upper body. Hats, freaking baby bottles, cups, all that sort of stuff. But you can't actually make a top, like a basketball top. There's no customization. Like, this is fully customizable. Literally, I went to the designer. I was like, I want these lines. I want this color, that color, back and forth. I want this number, like fully customizable. So that's kind of what sparked the initial idea. Like, how the hell do I make my own jersey? Like, it all started with you guys. A whole bunch of you guys, man. You were like, you've got all these NBA jerseys. Why don't you make a Squad Everyday one? And I was like, well, that's cool and all, but how do I go about it? The website that I'm using right now doesn't have that. And then I remember thinking about it for a few months, and I just dismissed it because it was just way too difficult. Like, I'm not gonna, like, who am I? I've never started a business. I've never designed anything. I didn't know anything. And then somehow I heard, I must have watched a video or something. They said like the app Fiverr, like 5R. And you go on there and there's people over there that do all sorts of things. So like I'm a nurse, there's people over there that are designers. They went to school to learn how to design and all these programs, Photoshop this, Photoshop that. And you leave them a comment, you leave them a message, and they get back to you and they're like, yeah, I can do that. And then you work out a price and then you go from there. And that's exactly how it all started. I got the design and I was like, shit, all right, this looks pretty sick, man. I'm really happy with this. Eventually when we got to this. And then it's like one step after the next, all of a sudden, a year later, I'm here with 3 boxes in my freaking office. And, I mean, the boxes came probably last week. So it's taken me a week to go, okay, that's fantastic. I've gotten the design. I've got the physical thing here. Found the manufacturer. I got the physical thing here. What now? How do I go about it? I had ideas about Amazon, this, that, the other. That went nowhere. So then I went to Shopify, after a bunch of days contacting the accountant. I need a business number. I need this. I need that. all these sorts of things. Then you need a printer. How do you print the labels? Oh my God, where's the printer? Go to the. I never heard about a thermal printer in the past. There's a thermal printer. It like prints out these. What are these? 6x4, 4x6 inches stickers that you put on things you sell, things that you send. I've never sent anything in my life. I know my partner. You know, she buys online all the time for kids and things or whatever, better deals. But I've never sent anything away. But here I am. I'm learning all these new skills. So after all this time, you know, we are at this level now where I have this, which is my creation. And, you know, it feels good, man. It feels really, really good. It will be really, really good if you agreed with me and you supported it. But like always, man, I don't like telling people what to do. If you don't like it, don't buy it. Obviously, like I'm not gonna be harping on about this every single video. But you know, part of the whole thing, part of business, is to actually let people know that you've created something. You can't leave it in the dark. So I'm also aware of that. Like people need to know that I've created this. So I might make an Instagram post as well, letting people know that this thing exists now, that it's ready. And the website is functioning and able to take your orders and whatnot. So let's see. My plan, my hope is that at least I break even. If I break even, I've won, because I've gotten all of this experience, all of these lessons. I have a concept of how businesses are created, how inventory is managed, and how shipping works. All of those things that I would have never ever learned. I've kind of learned that, and if I break even, I basically learned it for free. Minus my time, but that's fine. If I start making money out of this, right, and if I go beyond 50% sales and I sell all 300, then the plan is that I use that money and I go back to the manufacturer and I buy more of these. That's the first thing. And part of that money is actually to design some more stuff. I've got some other ideas that I want to do. I want to get like a proper quality, good jumper. I thought about even a hat now that I'm wearing these hats for the mic. I thought about a hat. I thought about all these different things, but obviously one step at a time. One step at a time, basically. You can't get ahead, you know. What if nobody buys? I mean, these are some of the thoughts that crossed my mind. Like throughout the whole process of the year, I was like, I would catch myself thinking, shit, man, what if nobody buys this stuff? What do we do now? I mean, with the other website, there's no risk. You upload your logo on this generic product. Nobody buys. That's cool. You haven't lost a single dollar. I'm $7,000 deep. This is why people don't do this sort of stuff, because of the risk. But once again, like if you don't risk anything, you're not going to get anywhere. Oh, Ivan, you've squatted 4 or 5 years in a row. You know, like all that time for nothing. Okay, so what if I didn't do anything? Oh, I've wasted 5 years sitting on the couch. So I don't think about it like that. I'm like, I've done something. To be idle is probably the worst thing. Make a move. Even if it's a wrong move, just make the damn move. Make something. Even in sport, like if you catch a ball and you just freeze, you're not shooting it, you're not passing it, you're not doing anything, you're just frozen, you're not gonna get anywhere. But if you take a shot, if you take a shot, that thing might go in. So that's kind of how I've done this. But it is not automatic. It is not natural for me to think this way. I am a nurse. I'm medically trained. Risk is a big word when it comes to medicine and patient care. It's always risk to reward. If we don't do anything, you will die because you're having a heart attack. If we do this procedure and we put a couple of stents in, the chances of death are like 0.001% of clot or cardiac arrest or something. But if we don't do anything, the chance of death is 100%. And so you take the 1%er in order to have a chance to live. So it's kind of like that. But in business, you're like, okay, here's $7,000 down the damn drain. And what is the chance of you getting the $7,000 back? I don't know, man. There's no promise. How do you know? There's no way of knowing. I know for like a long period of time, you guys have been saying, "Oh, I'll have one," a bunch of comments, but that wasn't a poll, that wasn't anything. So like uh, what's it called, misinterpretation, getting your hopes up or whatever, is a thing uh, that I think about. So there's always doubt, no matter who you are, whatever you end up doing. There's always doubt in your mind, like, oh, no one's gonna buy this. No, what you like it, but that doesn't mean somebody else will like it. Like you like squatting every day, but this person doesn't like squatting every day, and definitely not everyone in the world is squatting every day. So clearly, not everyone loves it like you do. So you're making a product about squat every day. You're sure, people like you, but do they really want to spend the money to support your journey? All of these voices are in my head and always like circling around and like making it difficult for me. But anyway, whatever. I remember last year I said to myself, you know what? How about I take $7,000, put it in a wheelbarrow in the backyard, and just burn it? That's kind of where my thought ended up going. Okay, I want to every year, I said $5,000. I want to take $5,000 and burn it. Just burn it in the barrel and sit there watching it burn as potential. Instead of me taking that money and trying to do something with it, I'm just going to burn it. That's automatic. Burn it. So now, okay, don't burn the money. Why don't you take the money and spend it? So it's almost like I was trying to like convince myself mentally to think that $5,000 is not even mine anymore. It's going to go to get burned. So take that money and spend it. So it's kind of always like, I'd rather have that money in my bank account. Tomorrow, safety. No, man. Every year, $5,000 is going to go in the bin. Do something with it. Instead of burning it, do something with it. I don't know, man. Like, I'm crazy like that. I have to like forcefully run through these thoughts, these cascades, to make it seem that it's better to spend this money than to let it burn. Because for years, like, me and my friends, we always talk about like all these different things about doing this, doing that, doing this. And we're always so safe. We're always so like measured, and we're so smart, and we don't want to spend money. We're not lavish lifestyle kind of guys. We just have what we need, and that's it. Like, a lot of us can buy much better cars than we have. A lot of us can buy better houses than we have. A lot of us can have jewelry and better gym bags and all this stuff, but we don't. We're just like, I don't know, normal people. And so for me to take $5,000 and spend it and just like let it fly, that's so out of my character. So I have to get out of that mentality. In the world of business, like, you can't do anything until you start going it, taking the first step. Another thought which made me, we're already at 17 minutes. Another step that helped me mentally was that I was like, okay, now that I'm working back to normal hours in nursing, all of this YouTube money that's coming in, it's not crazy amount of money, but it's enough money to actually me save for like 5 or 6 months, take this money, and then send it to the manufacturer and buy this. That also makes it okay mentally, because I am now back to like normal nursing like I've always been, and I'm not kind of living off YouTube anymore. Like back in the day I used to have less hours at the hospital, and I was kind of relying on the YouTube money as a part of my living money. Now all of that is to the side. Okay, nursing is back to normal hours, and this YouTube thing is just like a little hobby of mine. It's a nice little separate account. The money goes in there, and when it builds up to a certain level, get some damn boxes of stuff and try and grow something out of that. Anyway, long ass freaking story about all sorts of different things, but that's where I'm at. It's 18 minutes now. Jesus. It's 18 minutes, but I also prepared a video. I went to the gym today and I worked out, and that's also, I think, around 10 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play that now, and this video is going to be like half an hour long, but whatever. Let's mark this occasion with a long ass freaking video, and I'll play. That's right. I'll play the clips, and then I'll just voice over it or something, or maybe I'll go sit down and stretch and talk to you guys. But anyway, so the next clip is going to be me training. So we're finally here. If you want to support, you can. If you don't, that's still cool. No worries. It is what it is. I'll keep them all to myself then. Maybe I'll give it out. I'll give it out to all the family and whatever. I don't have this many friends though. 300 is a lot of people. Anyway, let's get to working out. I must admit, I'm feeling pretty good. You know, that soreness never came from that last Saturday session. So today's Tuesday. You know, so we are, you know, a good 3 days after, or 2 days after the 3 days after the session, and I'm still waiting for the soreness. And I don't think the soreness is coming to the same extent as it came last week. So we can confidently conclude that that soreness that I had was less to do with the actual training and more to do with the, let's say, the time off that I had prior to that training. So I dare say I feel like I could hit another 10 by 10 today. I didn't though. You know, today what I wanted to do is go to the gym and deadlift something. And the deadlifts, I mean, I don't know what's going on with me with these deadlifts. I'm not feeling strong off the floor. I'm not feeling strong anywhere. I'm not feeling confident with the bar. I'm not feeling explosive. I don't know, man. Like a few weeks ago, I hit 185 on the front squat. And you would think that I'm going to have like this crazy drive off the floor in the deadlift, you know, because I'm maxing out my front squat hard. But it hasn't come. So I hit the 240 today. It kind of moved all right, but it definitely 260 is not there. Definitely 270 is not even a dream at the moment. So the PR in the deadlift is still not there. Mind you, my last deadlift PR was February last year. So it's been a long ass time between drinks. And I mean, it's fair to say that the diagnosis, the thought that I had at the start of the year with just thinking quads, has not had the same effect as last year's plan, which was hamstrings, glutes, hamstrings. You know, last year I started off with, you know, lots and lots of RDLs, hamstring curls, lots of posterior chain, man. Like, you know, I went up to 200 kilos for 5x5 on the RDLs. Very heavy stuff. And what that ended up bringing me was a PR. Now, after that point, you know, I had pretty good squatting and deadlifting and whatever. But then I had some success with Hindu squats and quad direct work. And that got my front squat going towards the end of last year. And so then I ended up hitting a squat PR as well, a back squat and a front squat PR. And I mean, you guys know last year my front squat went up 20 kilos. So that was a crazy period of training. And so I kind of got bamboozled by the whole quad work. And I thought, man, maybe if I just keep going, the deadlift is going to go up. No. The deadlift is, I feel now, after spending some freaking 8 months just thinking about through the lens of, you know, quads, that it's been fruitless. You know, I think the mentality that I had last year was better for the deadlifts and the back squat. But the front squat still had very good outcomes with just quad work. You know, Hindu squats, lots of bodyweight squats. I don't know, man. Like sometimes I get caught up in all these different, like, you know, mindsets of what the diagnosis is with me. And sometimes I struggle with these ideas. Sometimes I struggle with my leverages. Maybe a long-legged lifter like me, just forget about the quads and work on things that you're going to be using anyway. Regardless of how you squat, you're never going to be a quad-only squatter. You're always going to be a posterior chain squatter. So if you put a lot of energy into quad work, into a body which is never going to be able to use the quad work because of leverages, long ass femurs and whatnot, you're kind of spinning your wheels in the mud, because really, if you just fully lean and embrace the whole posterior chain, you're probably going to have better success, because that is what leverages are dictating for you to do. Obviously, you know, you can't come up with these conclusions overnight. It's been years of me flirting with some of these ideas. The whole hip pain thing as well, you throw that into the mix, you know, you can kind of see that the posterior chain has always been a positive influence. So as I'm sitting here right now, what's hot on my mind right now is that maybe I should go heavy as possible on the deadlift and deadlift variations, like good mornings, like RDLs, like hamstring work, you know, isolation work, all that kind of stuff. I can go hammer and tongs on that, because that's kind of what my body's built for. But when it comes to squatting, Don't go so heavy all the time. Do a lot of 50% work, 10 by 10. That's what kind of makes me feel good when I squat. So, be very, very careful with squatting heavy weight for big volume, because that always kind of brings some sort of niggling issues with me. Instead of that, I just go for freaking heavy deadlifts. Every day of the week, man, I'm able to deadlift. It's heavy as hell and it takes a lot of out of recovery, but it never hurts me. It never hurts me, man. This is one thing that is 100% true in me. I've never been hurt deadlifting. Ever. Now, how many of you guys out there can say that? A lot of people hurt themselves deadlifting. Not me, man. This is my happy place. I get hurt squatting. Squatting because of the leverages. My hip freaking dies. So I am so tempted to just like fully lay into posterior chain, fully lay into the whole Louis Simmons thing again, and just forget about the quads and just kill myself with all of the work I can think about for posterior chain, and then just have the high rep squats for the quads and for the sake of squatting. Like, I want to be good at squatting, so instead of just going hard all the time with heavy ass weight, pushing the 5s, the 3s, the 2s, the 1s, forget about that. I'm not built to squat, so let me just use squatting as an accessory. The squatting is going to be an accessory to my deadlifting, and maybe that's the approach that I need. A lot of times, man, I turn the camera on and I just let it rip, and I say exactly what comes to my mind. Hopefully this makes sense. Sometimes I go back and I listen to my videos sometimes, and I even disagree with myself. Like, what were you thinking there? But I close my eyes and I let my brain go, and I just let the neurons bounce off each other. I let the thoughts kind of bounce off each other. And this is kind of what's making sense to me right now. Like, I'm thinking about it and I'm like, it's never hurt me, man. The deadlifts have never hurt me. Even if I do 5 by 5 on freaking deadlifts, who the hell does that? But even if I do like a heavy ass 10 rep max and I just go hard, I'll wake up the following day. Yeah, I'll be tired. I'll be lethargic. My rectors, I might be domsy and whatever, but nothing hurts. Like, the bad type of pain doesn't exist. I can't say that the same way for squats. For squats, I don't know how many times I have had crazy freaking sessions, crazy periods, maybe 2 or 3 week periods of absolute hard ass squatting. That shit always brings me pain. Always. So sometimes you just have to go where the water flows, man. Sometimes you have to go where the body wants you to go. And the posterior chain, man, like, I can put so much damn volume into it. Yeah, like I said, I'll be tired and exhausted and whatever, but I ain't going to be hurt. That's for sure. I don't know. It makes sense to me. I don't know whether you guys agree with me here. But last year I went in with a completely polar opposite view of this year, let's say. Last year I was like, hamstrings, just kill them. Curls, RDLs, bang them out. Look at the success I had last year. Think about it. 265 deadlift, 20 kilos added to the front squat, and massive 2.5 kilo on the back squat, right? So, I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's a better record. I mean, what did I do this year? This year, I've added 5 kilos. Pretty sure it was all this year. 5 kilos. Yeah, that's right. 5 kilos onto the front squat. And that's like the sole PR that I've had. The deadlift hasn't moved. So, it makes sense to spend most of the points onto the things that give you the most return. And what gives me the most damn return is posterior chain. So after I did all of this today, all of these thoughts were running through me as I was working out today. And I thought, okay, after all of this, I'm going to, do my, back and chest or whatever. I was supersetting bench press with wide grip pull-ups. And then I did some rows, chest supported rows, like that lever row. Then I did some flies. This is all basically for 3 sets of 10 working sets. Did all of that. And then I went in and I did some hamstring curls. Did some hamstring curls, and I like how they felt. And, you know, as I was in between the sets of doing the hamstring curls, I was kind of like just air deadlifting, just like practicing the motion. And I don't know, man, like it could be all just my mind playing tricks on me again, but having a pump in the hamstrings from the hamstring curls, as I was doing the deadlift, air deadlifts, you know, with no weight, just my hands kind of just, you know, me practicing the movement, I kind of felt, I don't know, stronger. I don't know what I'm saying here. But it kind of felt like, that kind of feels good, man. Having turned on hamstrings felt really good. You know, much better than having lats that are turned on. I don't know, man. But that's kind of the way I'm thinking about it now. So maybe tomorrow, I'm just thinking here, maybe tomorrow I'll go and do another 10 sets of 10. I've got a night shift tomorrow, so that's kind of tricky, isn't it? I have to think about that. Do I want to do 10 sets of 10 and they're going to a night shift? Freaking, that's brutal, man. I'm going to really struggle if I do that. So maybe I'll leave it for Friday or Thursday. Once I get up from a night shift on Thursday. So that's 5 days after Saturday. As I said, Saturday, somebody called me and stopped the whole recording. I don't know if that's going to screw me over or not. Hopefully they don't call me back. If they call me back, that's really gonna make this whole video hard. But anyway, I'm just contemplating when to do the squats. So this is what I mean. Like I just simply cannot have a routine. It's impossible. It needs to be a loose idea that I can mold over random events, shifts which are random. You know, I could sit down and write a nice little plan, and then it will last a week, and then the roster will come out after 2 weeks, and it will be completely different again with all sorts of different nights here and there everywhere. And I'll be like, shit, how do I make that work again? I mean, you can blame nursing. You can blame nursing for Squat Every Day at this point, really, you know, because Squat Every Day allows me the most amount of customization. I struggled for years with trying to be a nursing, you know, have a profession as a nurse and try to, you know, do shift work. It's just impossible to have a freaking workout plan. Anyway, appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.